Although ancient Egypt is long gone, archaeologists continue to unearth its treasures. Ancient Egypt was the pre-eminent civilization in the Mediterranean world for more than 30 centuries. This is from its unification around 3100 BC to its invasion and conquest by Alexander the Great in 332 BC. It flourished along the winding Nile River in northeast Africa. However, after Egypt fell under first Greek, then Roman, and finally Muslim control, the ancient civilization's glories were buried under layers of these different cultures, only to surface again centuries later as archaeologists and historians embraced the study known as Egyptology. What do you know about the birthplace of the ancient Egyptians? Here are some terrifying discoveries from the ancient era that have been revealed. On February 12, 2020, the Egyptian Archaeological Mission in the Nile Delta, affiliated with the government's Supreme Council of Antiquities, announced the discovery of 83 ancient graves that predate ancient Egypt during archaeological excavations in the Qom al-Kiljan region of Egypt's Darqilia Governorate. According to Mustafa Waziri, the Supreme Council of Antiquities Secretary General, the tombs date back to between 4000 and 3500 BC, to what is known as the Buto era, adding that this was the first time an archaeological team found something like this since a Polish mission at El Farka Hill in 2014, which found 4 poorly preserved graves at the time. 80 of the graves date back to the first half of the 4th millennium BC, known in Egypt as the civilization of Buto, an ancient city located southeast of Alexandria in Egypt's Nile Delta, modern-day Lower Egypt, according to Secretary General Mustafa al-Waziri. The graves are in the form of oval-shaped pits, and the insides are designed in a squatting position rather than in a sleeping position. Traditional funerary items, along with a group of small handmade pottery vessels, in addition to 1 or 2 oysters, were found buried along with the bodies. The other 3 graves discovered date back to the 3rd era of the Naqada III, an era from approximately 3200 BC to 3000 BC that is sometimes referred to as the Proto-Dynastic period. During this period, the process of state formation in ancient Egypt began with Naqada II and became very visible, with named kings leading powerful polities. 2 clay coffins were discovered as well inside the second group of graves, which, like the others, contained burials designed in the squatting position surrounded by various funerary items. The Egyptian pyramids are the most famous of all the ancient monuments and the only remaining wonder of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It's still unknown exactly how the Egyptian pyramids were constructed, though the ancient Greek historian Herodotus estimated that 100,000 men labored for some 20 years to create the largest, the Great Pyramid, for Khufu. Many of ancient Egypt's rulers, known today as pharaohs, built themselves elaborate monuments and tombs, inscribing them with their names and achievements in hieroglyphics. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the largest Egyptian pyramid and the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu of the 4th dynasty. Built in the early 26th century BC, around 27 years, the pyramid is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world and also the only one that remains today. These wonders include the Colossus of Rhodes, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, and the statue of Zeus at Olympia. The Giza Pyramid Complex, located on the outskirts of modern Cairo, contains other marvels, including the Sphinx, a massive statue of a lion with the pharaoh Khafre's head. In 1954, archaeologists stumbled on a nearly intact ship, measuring some 140 feet long, buried in pieces at the base of the Great Pyramid, inscribed with the name of the pharaoh Khufu. It was buried along with other grave goods. It was later excavated and put on display at the specially constructed Solar Boat Museum, just a few meters from where it was found. Researchers also discovered the remains of a large house with at least 21 rooms near the Giza pyramids, and a nearby mound containing leopard teeth, the hind limbs of cattle, and seals with the titles of high-ranking officials. The funerary complex around the pyramid consisted of 2 mortuary temples connected by a causeway, one close to the pyramid and one near the Nile. and tombs for the immediate family and court of Khufu, including 3 smaller pyramids for Khufu's wives, an even smaller satellite pyramid, and 5 buried solar barges. Discoveries made at the Giza workers' villages revealed that a major workforce of about 20,000 to 40,000 people was involved in the construction of the pyramids of Giza. This workforce included engineers, architects, builders, stonemasons, and laborers, among others. The Book of the Dead is a modern-day name given to a series of ancient Egyptian texts that the Egyptians believed would help the dead navigate the underworld, as well as serve other purposes. Copies of these texts were sometimes buried with the dead. Many copies of the book have been found in Egyptian tombs, but none contain all the approximately 200 known chapters. There wasn't a standard book found in every tomb. The collection, literally titled The Chapters of Coming Forth by Day, received its present name from Carl Richard Lepsius, the German Egyptologist who published the first collection of the texts in 1842. The Book of the Dead, an ancient Egyptian collection of mortuary texts composed of spells or magical formulas, was placed in tombs and was thought to protect and aid the deceased in the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that the spells were provided to assist the deceased in entering the afterlife as a glorified spirit. King Tutankhamun lived between roughly 1343 and 1323 BC. When Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered, it sparked a media frenzy and a rumor that opening the tomb had unleashed a curse. Unearthed in 1922 by a team led by Howard Carter, the tomb was filled with fantastic treasures, including Tutankhamun's death mask, which today is practically a masterpiece. The boy king, as Tutankhamun is sometimes called, died in his teens. Analysis of his remains suggests that he suffered from a variety of health problems and used a cane to walk around. He spent much of his rule trying to restore Egypt's traditional polytheistic religion, something that had been interrupted when his father, the pharaoh Akhenaten, started a revolution that emphasized the primacy of the Aten, the sun disk. We are familiar with the hugely revered Sphinx in Egypt, but what about the mummified big cats? The mummified large cats were found close to the remains of an adult mummified lion discovered beneath the Saqqara necropolis in 2004, and provide more information about the ancient Egyptians' use of animals in worship. The ancient Egyptians were religious. Little wonder they attached religious meanings to several things. Worshippers either believed that the mummified animals were deities to be worshipped, or mummified the creatures to offer them to the gods. Cleopatra was born in 69 BC into a troubled royal dynasty. The Ptolemies were descended from a Macedonian general who had served under Alexander the Great. Faced with the prospect of losing her kingdom, Cleopatra herself committed suicide on August 10, 30 BC by allowing a poisonous snake to bite her and her 2 handmaids. In early November 2022, a team of archaeologists led by Kathleen Martinez identified a 1,300-meter-long tunnel in the area of the Temple of Taposiris Magna, west of Alexandria, that could lead to Cleopatra's tomb. The passage was 4,800 feet in length and about 6 feet high. This incredible size led archaeologists to qualify it as a geometric miracle. With all these discoveries, there's no doubt that ancient Egypt is a land of mysteries. No other civilization has so captured the imagination of scholars, archaeologists, historians, and laypeople alike. The main sources of information about ancient Egypt are the many monuments, objects, and artifacts that have been recovered from archaeological sites, covered with hieroglyphs that have only recently been deciphered. There's no doubt that mystery surrounds the origin of this great civilization. Also, what many find mysteries about Egypt is its religion and its monumental architecture, which includes the temples for their gods, the amazing pyramids, the gigantic Sphinx, and the mystical tombs that always amaze us whenever we see them. There is fascinating history about other ancient worlds, but ancient Egypt has captivated us in ways that we cannot comprehend. When most people are asked to tell what they know of Egypt, they will talk about the pyramids, the Sphinx, various artifacts, and most of what we can see, because they have stood the test of time. However, recent discoveries have shown beyond doubt that we are yet to know all there is to know about this ancient nation. The dedication and tireless work of the archaeologists have helped in unearthing new artifacts often, and these discoveries have given us an insight into the long-gone era. We are now able to understand what their lives and times were like even in our modern age. Now, the mystery that surrounds Egypt is like a big puzzle that has not been solved. Each mystery that is unearthed by archaeologists brings us a step closer to solving the overall historical puzzle. Research is progressing to unearth these discoveries and provide answers to our questions. Though it might not be today, more findings will keep coming to light, and hopefully we will get a good grasp on the history of this wonderful land. For more amazing revelations about ancient mysteries, kindly hit that subscribe button and like this video. Thanks for watching.